Hi, and welcome to This Week in East Brunswick, the town's own news and information program. As you may already know, Channel 8 covers high school sports, and tonight we'll spotlight some of the people you don't normally see but are a big part of East Brunswick high school sports. John Meggiolaro will speak to head cheerleading coach Debbie London and announcer George Pinfield. Next, Channel 8's Jamie Newmeyer visits the new Center for Ceramics Research at Rutgers University, where scientists are developing the strategic materials of the future. Next, School Information Officer Amy Fisher brings you school news on American Education Week. On Consumer Aware, Adrian Eisner has tips for next week's Thanksgiving turkeys. And we'll have our Township Council review. All of this and more coming up on This Week in East Brunswick. But first, a look at what's on Channel 8 next week. Monday at 10 a.m., it's Look Great, Feel Great with Lenore Kulik. At 10:30, it's Stories from the Library. Tuesday at 7 p.m., In Print from the City of Beverly Hills covers books and the print media. At 7:30, it's Sports Talk with host John Meggiolaro, followed by a look back with Mayor Fox on 13 years of public service, hosted by Home News editor Dick Hughes. Wednesday evening at 7:30, it's Dolly Vasta's For Art's Sake, with guest the fastest typewriter in the East, Michael Avalone. At 8 p.m., it's The Arts, produced by the Middlesex County Cultural and Heritage Commission. There will be no cablecast on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, and the library will be closed. Be sure to check the Channel 8 program guide for recasts of all of our shows. Now let's join John Meggiolaro at the East Brunswick High School.
Hi, I'm with East Brunswick High School varsity cheerleader coach Debbie London. Debbie, the sport of cheerleading, and I call it a sport because I think it is, has really evolved over the years. Tell us a little bit about what these girls go through.
Well, we start our season in August, and when I bring them to cheerleading camp for 5 days, which is very intense. They start at 8 o'clock in the morning and they go through till 9 o'clock in the evening with only about a 2.5-hour break in between, learning all new cheers, pyramids, and various stunts that they do. And then once school starts, we start practicing every day. I bring them through a program that incorporates aerobics, weightlifting, running, to keep them fit. Obviously, like you said, it is a sport, so therefore they work out as though any other sport would. Then we start our game situation, and in between the games, we have practices as much as possible during the week.
Debbie, I know that the cheerleaders actually try out twice a year. When are those tryouts, and who's qualified to try out?
Okay, I have my first tryout at the end of the year in April, and that is for the fall season, which starts in September, which is football season and soccer season. And as a matter of fact, our second tryout is occurring this Monday, and that is for all of the winter sports, which is basketball season. It's a nice situation because a lot of the girls are involved in sports, so therefore when the sport is through, then they can try for cheerleading for the second half of the year and vice versa.
Okay, as a parent, looking and having a daughter who's interested in cheerleading, what are some of the things that you look for in terms of determining whether they should be a cheerleader?
Well, obviously, I have to have my girls very fit. There's a certain criteria that we follow that has to be, it's very, very difficult in a sense. The girls, I need them to be obviously very spirited, very enthusiastic. There's a certain criteria that we follow with stunts that have to be performed, a dance that has to be performed, a cheer that is taught to them, and a cartwheel and a little stunt activities such as that.
I also understand that beyond just cheering for the high school, there's some outside competition.
Oh, there sure is, and the girls love that especially. We get sent various things I get sent various things in the mail. There's competitions all over the state. There's one that we competed in at the camp that we went to. And the girls just love the atmosphere. I mean, not necessarily to go and win, of course, that's the major thing that we want to do, but just the whole atmosphere of the competition. The girls are so warm to one another. All the different squads from all over the state are excellent.
Well, Debbie, you've done a super job with these young ladies, and they are a major part of the football experience, the wrestling experience, the basketball experience, soccer, and so forth. We're so glad that they are part of the scenery. Good luck to you and the girls the rest of the year.
Thank you very much.
Why don't we take a moment now and meet the girls?
Fine.
Ladies, you just step forward. You are?
I'm Blair Willard. I'm a senior.
Okay.
Shal Hill, senior.
That's Phil Hill's daughter.
I am Maurice Wilkowski, and I'm a senior. Renee Galdieri, senior. Jennifer Zaski, sophomore. Teresa Toto, senior. Wendy Rosenthal, junior. Jennifer Lucas, sophomore. Lauren Davis, junior.
Tracy Meggiolaro, senior.
Linda Sorrentino, senior.
Okay, and that's some of the East Brunswick High School varsity cheerleaders. Let's step back a moment now and watch a cheer. Joining me now is the voice of East Brunswick High School football, George Pinfield. George, you've been around the scene a long time now. You're up in the booth doing the announcing. You still have that flair for the game.
I just couldn't get away from it. In fact, if I was able to be out here, I would be. If I had 2 good hits, I'd still be coaching.
George, you were a coach here for years with the teams. What has changed in your perspective? You've seen a lot of players come and go.
Well, I think things are more sophisticated now. The kids are stronger. They're bigger. We had some big teams, but with all the programs of weightlifting and so on and so forth, it's better. We're getting better.
Your new avocation of announcing, I know it isn't easy, but it keeps you kind of part of the game.
It does. I look forward to it all the time. When I walk up there and I look out at the kids, I still have that twinge in my heart, and I wish I was down there with them.
George, being at the high school, education is obviously an important part of anyone's development, but so are sports, and I know you and I have discussed this for a number of years now.
It's true. I felt that it has to go hand in hand. Many of the young people out here, if they didn't have sports, they probably wouldn't get an education. And I think people have to realize that. Sports is just, they say it's extracurricular, but to me it's co-curricular. It really is.
Well, there's no doubt about where George Pinfield's heart is, particularly here at East Brunswick High School. George, thanks for being with me.
Thank you very much.
This is the new Center for Ceramic Research at Rutgers University. The center was dedicated last month. It's the first major facility built under the 1984 high-tech bond issue, which was designed to advance scientific research and integrate it with New Jersey's economy. Researchers say the $10 million facility is more than a landmark for the state. It's one giant step for science. Traditional ceramics include glass, bricks, and porcelain. They're made from sand, aluminum, clay, and similar elements that are very common in the Earth's crust and relatively abundant in this region. High-tech ceramics are strong heat-resistant materials, like the tiles on the space shuttle, which were designed to withstand the fiery re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. These advanced ceramics are made from the same raw materials, but the manufacturing process is highly controlled. The product is more pure, with uniform properties. They withstand higher temperatures than metals, they are wear-resistant, and they are lightweight. That's why they are expected to increase overall efficiency of machinery. Ceramic Center Director Dr. Dale Neese explains the importance of ceramic parts to today's technologies.
Well, the whole field of advanced ceramics is very exciting these days, and because they're going to be involved in so many industrial applications, things like computers and automobiles and defense systems, space systems. It's what we call one of the classes of advanced materials that's performs a strong enabling function to enable companies to build advanced systems such as computers and automobiles. And it's just very exciting. We talk about ceramic fever, if you will, which started in Japan in around 1980 and spread to the U.S. in about 1983 and has been continuing to grow and spread ever since. And there's just a lot of excitement on a worldwide basis in advanced ceramics, and we're pleased to be a big part of that.
Historically, the ceramics industries have played a significant role in the economy of Central Jersey. At Rutgers, industry cooperates with higher education to design research that will address modern needs of the marketplace.
But what it does for us is gives us a better perspective on what the interests of industrial people are in the area of ceramics. So it's good for our faculty, it's good for the direction of our research program, and it's good for our students to get that firsthand feeling. And this program allows our industrial members to interact on a direct basis with our faculty and graduate students and undergraduate students to a certain extent. And of course, on an individual project basis, the individual members provide a lot of helpful hints on how to do certain things in our research that are kind of part of the art, if you will, and not necessarily available in the published literature. So I think there's a lot of benefits to us. And also to our students, the benefits it provides funding for graduate student research to educate graduate students. We also use our undergraduate students as technicians on the program. So they get a lot of hands-on experience in modern laboratory equipment that before this program and some others like it around the country started, it was very difficult to get in universities. And the common complaint among industrial companies was that they, concerning BS graduates, was that they, when they hired them, they really didn't know how to do anything in the laboratory. They learned everything out of a book. And this program has helped that tremendously. We get a lot of very positive feedback from our students now. They're going out to work in industry.
Ceramics are generally very brittle, and projects at the Center for Ceramic Research will attempt to develop a hardier product that won't crack and fail without warning. The equipment they have for experimentation includes some of the world's most advanced instruments in the field.
My name is John Oliver for the Center for Ceramic Research of Rutgers University. The instrument behind me is a research quality scanning electron microscope. It enables us to characterize ceramic materials at a very high resolution level. It's analogous to an optical microscope in that it magnifies sample images, but instead of using visible light, we use electrons. And the sample is kept in this particular column area here. The sample is inserted, kept under a very high vacuum, approximately 10 to the minus 9 torr, which is about a billionth of an atmosphere. We have a lanthanum hexaboride crystal, which emits electrons at a very high velocity. They bombard the sample, and certain signals are given off. The detector setup that we have with this particular instrument, there are three basic detector systems. We have a secondary electron detector, which is the basic surface morphology of the sample. What you can't see here is a backscatter detector, which gives us atomic number contrast, and also an energy dispersive X-ray detector. So we can not only image the samples, but determine exactly what they are composed of. And that's what we do with this electronics area. What you see on the screen is a 123 yttria baria copper superconductor. And right now, on both CRTs, I have a secondary electron image, so you can begin to get a feel for the three-dimensionality, the topography of the image. If I had a different type of sample, this is a very well-mixed compound, but if I had a different type of a sample, we could detect areas of differing atomic number. The electronics will also allow us to go anywhere from around 15 times magnified to approximately 100,000 times magnified on the sample. So it's an extremely high resolution technique. The third detector system which I was talking about is the X-ray detector system, and that's composed of this computer and detector setup. Now what I've got showing on this screen is basically a transfer image from these CRTs to this high-resolution CRT screen. This allows us to measure features of interest in each sample that we have, and again, locate areas of elements of interest, not only what's in the sample, but where they're located. And that would be mapping the X-rays given off by each area of the sample.
Dr. Roger Cannon is a professor of ceramics and a resident of East Brunswick. He conducts thermomechanical tests on ceramic samples and works with a unit called the creep tester.
Perhaps the word creep sounds like an acronym, and originally it probably was. What it means is the slow bending of a bar of material when a pressure is put on it. This is now a scientific word, and that many people are studying the creep of materials. We're studying ceramic materials which are particularly creep resistant. Ceramic materials are often used at very high temperatures, and one of their strong qualities is they don't oxidize, and they also don't creep. That is, they don't deform they bend only very slowly when put under pressure. We're going to, however, be doing some research on quite a different type of ceramic material, and that is one that will undergo a great deal of bending so that we can actually form it to some particular shape at a high temperature, and this is called a superplastic ceramic material. The ceramic material is creep tested in this apparatus here. We place the sample in this position and then apply a load up above. Then we close the furnace and we turn the furnace on and heat it up to quite a high temperature on the order of 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The change in length of the specimen or the bending of the specimen is recorded on this recorder automatically.
The center itself was founded in 1982 in connection with the National Science Foundation. At the time, activities were conducted in the existing ceramics department, which was no place for an advanced technology center, according to Malcolm McLaren, director of Rutgers Institute for Engineered Materials, the agency which administers the ceramic research.
We had too little space, too little laboratories, and we had too little space for the new advanced technology, state-of-the-art equipment that was being supplied by the state. We needed to have the space in order to grow and do the kind of work that we needed to have done in the advanced technology of ceramics.
Rutgers University will get many of the high-tech centers planned for New Jersey, like the adjacent fiber optics building currently under construction.
As the state became more interested in the science and technology programs under Governor Kane, we also became an advanced technology center for the ceramic center. As this developed, we found that there were other areas of technology that were begging to be taken into the program, and so we formed the Institute for Engineered Materials. Encompassed in this program then, besides the Center for Ceramics Research, we have the Fiber Optic Materials Program, Plastics Recycling, Materials Synthesis, which is basically a CVD process, the original ERC for composite materials under Dr. Danforth, and now a new program that was just qualified as an ATC by the state of New Jersey in surface engineered materials.
As for ceramics, scientists already count them among the strategic materials of the future and say they could eventually replace many metals. The heat resistance and fatigue resistance, the low weight, and the potential to withstand major impacts make ceramics an attractive choice for high-temperature engine parts and superconductors. Ceramics will have significant, if not dramatic, commercial and military applications in the near future. The Center for Ceramics Research will pave the way. For Channel 8, I'm Jamie Newmeyer.
Hi, I'm Amy Fisher, the Information Officer for the school system. This is American Education Week, and in celebration we have with us today Mrs. Kathy Schwartz, who's president of the East Brunswick Education Association, and Dr. David Seiden, who's president of our Board of Education. And welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy, what are we doing for American Education Week, and how did the plans get started and get organized?
Well, very recently, the members of the Board of Education met with the officers of the Education Association, where we discussed items of mutual concern and interest. And it was during that meeting that we planned some activities that we could co-sponsor in recognition and celebration for American Education Week. We planned a variety of activities. We had a very short lead-in time, unfortunately, but we do have at least 7 things planned. One of those is the buttons that we're all wearing. The students in the high school career orientation program made the buttons, and they will be distributed to all staff and all board members to be worn this week. The teachers will be given posters, and staff members will be given bumper stickers that are on the theme of American education. The school libraries will have displays on the theme. Our superintendent, Dr. Sweeney, is going to be a guest columnist and write a column for the Sentinel that will appear this week on the same theme. We have 6th and 12th graders who will be asked by their English teachers to do a focused free writing on the theme of what American education means to me. And excerpts of those ideas, of their ideas, will be published in a future spotlight on education. And the mayor is going, or has signed, a proclamation on Monday declaring this American Education Week in East Brunswick.
So we're doing a lot of things.
Yes, for such a short amount of time to plan them, I think we did get a lot of things accomplished.
That's really good. Well, Dave, the theme for this week is America's Schools, Invest in Your Future. What's the significance of that for East Brunswick?
Well, you know, Amy, I really think that the real message is that the schools or the educational enterprise here in East Brunswick, or really any place else, is not really just of concern to those people who are directly involved in schools, whether they be the students or the teachers and administrators and the parents. That really it's a matter of interest and concern, and ought to be involvement of the entire community, East Brunswick community or American community. The future of this community and of our nation depends upon the quality of the education of our kids today. They are going to be our workers tomorrow, and our leaders tomorrow, and our managers, political leaders, social leaders, artists, and so forth. And the quality of life in this community is going to depend upon how good a job we do today in educating our youngsters. And that's something that should be of concern, and I think is of concern, not just to the parents of the students in the school, but for everybody who lives here and will live here in the future. There's another way of looking at it also, I think. The quality of life in this township, in very large measure, depends upon the quality of the schools. People's perception of what East Brunswick is and how good a place is it to live and how good a place is it to raise a family, in very large measure depends upon what people think of our school system, and that depends upon how good a job we do in our schools. If we want to be very, very practical about it, certainly real estate values, it's well demonstrated that the value of a home depends upon how desirable a place the township is, and that depends upon how good the schools are. And we know that East Brunswick is seen as a desirable place to live by so many people because of the school system, and that drives up real estate value. So in a very tangible way, this is an investment not only in the future of the next generation, but in the future of next month and next year. And I think I see the theme as being one of our schools are a community resource and something that the entire community has to participate in order to improve and maintain, not just the parents of the students who are in the school.
Wow, absolutely agree with everything you said. Kathy, why is the week important to the staff members?
Well, I think just to go along with a lot of the things that Dave said, it is a focus on the importance of American education as an investment in the future. And I think it gives an opportunity for the community to look at the essential roles that each and every staff member in the school system plays, and to say to that person, thank you for doing a job that's so important, and thank you for having a positive effect on our lives and the lives of our children, and therefore the future of our country. So I think it's important to our staff members because it is a time of recognition, and I think any type of recognition is important for a job that's done so well and is so essential to our society.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best times that you see in the town, I think, are times when the schools have been successful about something and everybody sort of gets together. And absolutely the best time I've ever seen in all the time I've lived here was when the students won the bicentennial contest last year. It was so terrific and such a source of pride.
Real sense of pride, yes.
When we drove in with the police escort and the band and everything, it was just absolutely great. And so those are the kinds of things that people remember their whole lives and make the town a really special place, I think. So Dave, do you think that we should be observing this week every year?
Yeah, I do, Amy. Not just because people's memories are short, although I think that is true. I think people do have to be reminded of the importance of our educational system. But I think this is a way of maintaining community participation and community support. You know, last year I had the opportunity, I was on a panel in Washington reviewing school programs from all over the country. And one of the things that really struck me was that school systems that were doing a really fine job had an awful lot of community participation in the schools. The school was the center of the community. Business people, senior citizens, parents, people who did not yet have students in school, all saw the school as the pride of the town and really contributed in many ways, tangible and intangible, to the schools, and in turn the school contributed back to the town. And even communities that didn't have a whole lot in the way of financial resources were able to mount really tremendous educational programs with community support. And I really think that as good as we are, and we do have reasonably good resources, and both people resources and economic resources, but if we can add to that the kind of community support that I would envision from our business community and our adults in this township, I think we can be probably the outstanding school system in the United States.
Well, that's what we keep aiming for, and I don't think we'll ever stop trying to be that. Well, thank you very much, both of you, for being here, and happy American Education Week.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching.
On display in the library this month is the annual exhibit by the Suburban Artists Guild. The paintings will be hanging on the library walls through the end of November. Here's a brief look at some of the work.
At Monday night's council meeting, Mayor Fox made a presentation to the family of Louis Becker, honoring the late councilman. Up for approval this week in East Brunswick is an amendment to Chapter 102 of the town's Fire Safety Code. Chamber of Commerce President Martin Glass told the town council that the businesses in East Brunswick don't object to being registered with the fire department. What they object to is the fee charged for inspection of their premises. Local businesses want their real estate taxes to take care of the cost of inspection, and Glass called the fee a discrimination against businesses who don't get many services that residents get with their taxes. Councilman Kirk agrees that the fee should be eliminated. Councilman and Mayor-elect Jackson Agra disagrees and says it is a cost of doing business. Councilman Hudak said some businesses on Route 18 are underassessed as it is, and they should quit while they're ahead. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.